Hey, what's going on? I'm Josh Bobrowski. I'm here to talk about where we are with Bitcoin today. It's been a pretty interesting ride, and as of today, we're looking at Bitcoin at about $58,000 a coin. There's been a lot going into this lately, and I want to take some time to go through how we got to where we are today and who the major players are. Everything from a quick look at the macroeconomics of why Bitcoin is growing, the players and the institutional investors, some of the bigger companies that are getting involved, and what's going on a little bit with the charts. So let's take it from here. Best place to start to really understand where Bitcoin is today is to take a look at where Bitcoin was in the past. And so right now we're looking at the chart that starts out around 2013. And as you can see, the price in 2013 was about $76 a share at its low point. So Bitcoin comes up to a high just under $1,000 a share. So this is like the bull run from 2013 to 2014. This is really important to take a look at because as you get from 2013, it takes all the way until you hit about 2017 to actually break $1,000 for a single Bitcoin. And this is a big thing because this is the first time in the history of Bitcoin was able to actually get over and stay over $1,000 a coin. So in order to get a full understanding of how small of an asset class this is, I actually wanted to take a little bit of time and look at the market cap as well. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at roughly a $1.1 trillion market cap. But prior to 2017, the high was around $11 billion. And the only time you actually get over that high is once you cross into 2017. So to think about it in perspective, this was roughly 100 times smaller of an asset. So here's where things get really interesting. At this point, the type of people that are involved with Bitcoin are like cypherpunks, early stage adopters. And I think early stage adopter might be even generous. These are like the very, very first people. This is almost like the Steve Jobs and Wozniaks with computers. These are really early, high level innovators that are so early into the space, it's incredibly small. But what gets really interesting is when you take this space and you stretch it out into 2018, and late 2017, you're going to see something really interesting where the run-up gets huge. And this is the first time that mass retail investors, in my opinion, started to become really aware of Bitcoin. So here you have Bitcoin. I'm going to go right back to the price so that it's easier to see. Here you have Bitcoin coming in just over $1,000. And during this run-up, Bitcoin goes all the way from $1,000 all the way up to $19,000, which it only hits for a day, bounces down, then bounces back up. And then what you have, which is pretty standard for Bitcoin, is roughly an 80% retraction in price. So Bitcoin goes all the way up to 19,000, 19 times higher than its previous high. And then it crashes down to 3,600 or somewhere in the 3,000s, depending on the day. So what's interesting to note about this is two things. One, a 2,000% increase in price during the bull run of 2017. And two, the crash was about an 80% crash, but that crash is still leaving you at a floor of almost $4,000, which is still 400% higher than what the previous all-time high had been. So when you're looking not to set price, but you're also changing it to look at the market cap, you can see that even at the high, in 2017, you're looking at a $318 billion market cap. But that high is really only there for like a day. So if you took out December of 2017, the market cap really never gets too much over $200 billion. I mean, it's still a decent sized market cap, but as we progress forward, we go through and get into kind of like a dark period for Bitcoin where you have from 2017 all the way into 2020. So here's where things get interesting. Let's take a look at the full lifetime of Bitcoin, and we're going to go ahead and click on price, take out the market cap, and go into the current perspective that we have today. So this was the previous all-time high, $19,000 a coin. Here's what's interesting. This cycle continues forward. You basically bounce back and forth between like $3,000 and $10,000 a coin until you have COVID hit. And when COVID hits, you get a crash, and then we start to go into a really strong upswing of a cycle. And this cycle takes us from a previous high of about 19,000 to we're currently sitting at today was actually the all-time high of about 58,000. So the biggest difference between the two bull runs is that there were retail investors mainly in the 2017 bull run. This time, it's totally different. You have Michael Saylor, who's playing an enormous role in the game, took $500 million from a company called MicroStrategy. It was all of the money that they had, and he put all of it into Bitcoin. And then from there, you've had him put on conferences, and Elon Musk has come on board and purchased $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor has had conferences with over 2,000 CEOs that have come in and asked how they can take their balance sheets from publicly traded companies. So the reason I say this is we're starting to get mass adoption here. And that's a very different idea than what was occurring before. Right now, we have about 70 million people that are using Bitcoin or the blockchain, and that's about the same number of people as the internet in 1997. And I think that's a good analogy. You should be thoughtful that you're going to be having about a 4 times faster adoption rate than you had in 1997. But today, you're starting to see for the first time some really big institutions come on board. So you're looking at Coinbase is going to be going on an IPO. You're seeing that BNY Mellon has come in and said that they're going to embrace and do custody. You have Fidelity, which manages $1 trillion+ in assets that they're doing custody. And you have a laundry list of really high-end, super intelligent individuals reconsidering Bitcoin from something that was once just an obscure internet money to something that could be a real valuable asset. And so today we're sitting at $1.1 trillion. And this could be a very different cycle. This isn't financial advice. This isn't saying you should buy or that you should sell. But what this is saying is that the players involved are completely different than the players that we've ever seen in Bitcoin. So that's my thoughts on what's going on with Bitcoin and why it's different this time than it was in previous ventures. If you agree or disagree, please leave a comment below or hit like or dislike. Thanks a bunch.